Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOHut.com. I'm the first impressions gameplay video for Yu-Gi-Oh! Online, a 2D trading card game MMO published by Konami. Now I'll spend about 10 to 15 minutes running around checking this game out, make some comments. If you guys want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online or just learn more about it, do check it out for a review on the link below. So let's go ahead and get started. And this is a client-based game, and it's based off the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game as well as the TV anime series. So let's go ahead and log in. I should mention though, this is basically a free trial because it's really restrictive on how the game starts you off. And I'll explain that a little bit more once we get in. So I'm going to treat it as a free trial game, though you have unlimited time in the game. So let's log on my character Altai, and I'll show you the game's character creation anyway, because for some reason you can change your character's appearance at any time by checking the My Hideout area in the game. And in your My Hideout, you just come over here and you can change all your character's customization options. And that includes changing between male and female. You can change between them at any time, which is pretty random. I don't know why the game lets you do that. It kind of takes away the sense of, having your own character if you can change it at any time. It's so random. But we can see our long hair, short hair, spiky hair. We're gonna get slick hair because we're slick people. We got I hate these things. Why can't I hate these color things? Can't we just pick our own color from a color wheel rather than having to play with these numbers? Yeah, there's such a big difference between 95 and 96 over here. But let's go ahead and check out mouthpiece, smirking. We'll be happy, guys. Change our clothes to t-shirt to rough. That's not rough. That's just like a wizard's robe. It's so random. I don't know why they call it rough. Something got lost in translation for sure. But the game's customization options are pretty detailed actually. Okie dokie. These are pretty random. What are these? But the game's customization options are pretty in-depth. I mean, no, they're not bad at least. But let's go close this out, and you can play with that at any time. The game just lets you play with it. The game's interface is really basic. Once you actually log into the game, there's only a handful of places to go, including Blister's Hideout, which you go to buy or trade cards. You go to the stadium, you can go to Kaiba Corp. Stadium is where you play against other players. This is where you participate in official events. Yeah, this is where you go to participate in official events. Same with the championships grounds. These are both tournament areas in the game. Kaiba Corp, you can play against NPCs, and your hideout is where you change your appearance. That's it. There's really nothing else to explore in Yu-Gi-Oh! Online. But the game's interface is kind of complicated, and let's go check out our edit deck area. And from our edit deck area, we can actually make our own decks based on the cards we start with. My brother already made a deck actually. It's called the Lame Deck, and that's because the cards suck in this deck. And that's because, unfortunately, the game is starting card. You start with about 100 cards in the game, and they are all absolute trash. The game gives you the worst starting cards possible. I mean, there are some decent cards in here. I've actually played the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game before in real life. Don't ask me why. I played a lot of trading card games before, including Magic the Gathering, but the game is really imbalanced, actually. I never really played it seriously. It's such an imbalanced game to start with, because the more expensive cards are just ridiculously overpowered. But the game starts you off with some of the worst cards possible, and I got a random deck put together over here. Your deck can go up to minimum 40 cards, I believe. But yeah, you can see all your cards over here and stuff, and play with your own decks, customize your own decks. And let's get out of here right now. I already have a deck made. Let's click the back button. The interface over here is not so good because you can easily, I mean, it's really hard to use because it's kind of random. It's kind of hard to find out where things are. I mean, it took me a while to find this exit deck button over here and get back to the main screen. But we got our stadium. But you can go to Blister's Hideout to basically trade cards and get new cards. And the way it works is though, since you start with 100 cards, you can actually use those 100 cards to trade for better cards. And the game system is so random. I mean, in order to get actual good cards or purchase new cards, you have to use real money. You have to buy you have to spend real life money on booster packs to get new cards in the game. Or you can trade cards, which has a really random system of working. I mean, basically you can trade 50 of any cards you want for any other card in the game. I mean, just about every card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in this one trading area over here. Right now, look how many cards there are over here. I can just scroll past all of these. There are hundreds of cards available here for trade, and they all require 50 cards to trade. And some of the most overpowered cards are here as well, including Gemini Elf, Dark Holes, and stuff like that. And if you've played Yu-Gi-Oh! Those should be familiar. And it's pretty funny though, because it makes no sense. I mean, why is this guy trading you the most powerful cards in the game for 50 of the most garbage cards in the game? So if you want to actually make a good deck, you can actually trade 50 of your crappy cards. Keep in mind, you only have 100, so you trade away half of your cards for one good card. But if you really want to be persistent and get all of this stuff for free, you can do it, because if you keep making new characters, you start with 100 cards on every new character. So you can get 2 good cards per character and keep trading them to your one main account. And if you keep doing that, you'll eventually get a really good deck completely for free. So if you really want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online, that's probably what you have to do to get a good deck. But I'm going to close it out for now, because you start with 100 cards, you can trade them for good cards, and then trade them to your main account over and over again until you get one really good deck. But let's close it out for now. There's a lot of cards in the game, and I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Online could actually work really well if it wasn't so money grubbing, and it's right now, unless you do like my sleazy method of getting better cards, it's impossible to really get new cards. But let's close this out and I can show you one of the actual duels in the game. We go to Kaiba Corp and we can play against another player. I know, it's taking a while. Spin, nerdy, oops, what is this guy saying? Let's close this out. And we have Yami Yugi. I didn't know his first name was Yami. I mean, I've actually watched, I think, the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! When it was on TV. I don't know, I was bored. I never knew his first name was Yami. You got Seto Kaiba, Joey Wheeler, and these are NPCs you can basically play against. You can also play against these 3 other people, which I have not seen. These are past my prime. I've only seen the first season. We got these other 3 characters, which I've never seen either. Ooh, I'm liking this one, though. I'll play with her anytime. But let's just go and play Yugi, because he's just the one character everybody knows. Let's go and play against him. How we do that? Let's double click on him, and we should be able to play. You want a duel? That's fine by me. Give it your best shot. So we're going to start a duel with this guy. You can play with other players as well, but my deck is so bad that I think my only chance is playing against an NPC. I'm using this deck. Let's click OK. And if you're playing against other people online, odds are they have good decks or they've spent money on their decks, and it's impossible to beat them. I'm going to play Rock. Pro tip, guys, when you do rocks, paper, scissors, always pick Rock. All the pros pick Rock. See, I just won right there. Rock for the win. And in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's no reason not to go first if you win. There's no reason not to. You get to draw a card on your first turn. In other trading card games, you usually don't get to draw a card on your first turn because you're going first. It would be unfair to do that. But let's see what we got over here. In Yu-Gi-Oh! You actually draw 5 cards. Your opponents have 8,000 life points. You have 8,000 life points. You can see these pretty animations as you draw cards. I don't know why. And these are your phases right in the middle over here. I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before, but I've never actually done the phases one at a time. I just, play it normally and hope everything works out. If you watch the show and you're going into Yu-Gi-Oh! All excited, don't be, because the way they play on the show, at least in the first season, makes no sense. They just cheat and break all the rules. I mean, they summon like 5 cards in one turn. They summon the most powerful cards without doing tributes, and it just doesn't make any sense. And it's sad to say that I do know some of the rules in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I have played it before. But let's go ahead and play this awesome Panda card, which is a garbage card. But let's go ahead and play it. We're going to click set over here. And you see my guy's pro animation, and then bam, he sets it down. And another reason I'm doing this video is because I already did Urban Rivals and I also did Pax Nora, so I figure get all the trading card games out of the way. So I think we're done for the turn. I got this other dude over here, but for now I am going to click end phase over here. And you can go to battle phase as well, but there's no reason to because I don't take an attack on my first turn. You need to watch this guy draw and see what he does. Keep in mind though, his deck is probably going to be infinitely better than mine. I mean, the deck you start with is so garbage, I'm telling you, the cards you have. So he's got a pretty lame card over there too, 1500, 1200. If you don't know the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh, it's not a really complicated game. Whoever has the higher attack points and he's attacking you wins. He's got 1500, my guy's got 1000 defense, and my Panda's going down. Frenzied Panda is dead. Alright. I mean, all the cards you have are so bad. I mean, if you've played Yu-Gi-Oh before, you'll know. I mean, just look at these cards. They're such garbage. The way this game works too, it's so unfair. It just, whoever has the more expensive deck just wins. There are cards that totally ruin the balance of the game. But luckily they are banned here and there. I mean, I've actually seen a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards because my uncle ran a game store before and he used to have Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments there. And I would judge for him on occasion, and I didn't really know the rules either, but for some reason I was judging. It was mostly little kids playing anyway, so they didn't know what the heck was going on either. So I generally knew what was going on. I just read the book before. But on my turn, I'm going to put this, let's put this guy down. Unfortunately, I cannot kill this guy. He's got 1500 attack, and not one of my cards have over 1500 attack to beat him. He does, but he's got more than 4 stars, meaning I gotta kill one of my own dudes to make him. So I have to do that next turn. I gotta put this guy down. He's got 1500 attack. I'll put him down. We'll summon him down and see what happens. Though I still can't kill him because we have the same attack power. He's got 1500. I got 1500. And we are gonna. I mean, I could do this. We're gonna go ahead and do this and see what happens. This basically makes both opponents discard their hand and draw that many cards. You can see our deck size over here. The actual gameplay mechanics in Yu-Gi-Oh! Online, though, work pretty well. I mean, I have no problems with the interface itself when you're in the game and how the drawing phases work and the combat phases. It actually works really well. The only problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Online is you just start with garbage cards, and there's really no other way to get better cards without paying. At least when you're playing Urban Rivals and even Pax Nora, you start with some playable cards, and you have some room for improvement. Here, the only way to improve is to open the wallet and start buying booster packs. Yeah, you buy booster packs in a game. It's kind of weird. But let's see what we can do now. I can't really do anything on the rest of my turn. I got this ancient telescope, which I'll look at on his turn. Let's end my turn. It's a pretty useless card. Let's see. I look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, and put them in the same order. That does absolutely nothing. But at least you can see what's going on. I got reinforcements. I probably should have put this down on my turn, but I didn't. So it's his turn. Let's see what he does. He ended his turn, actually. Now he's got... I don't know what he did. He sacrificed some cards or some shenanigans. But again, this is the most imbalanced trading card game ever. I've actually played Magic the Gathering quite a bit back in the day, and I've actually still played online on occasion through some software, OCTGN it's called. And Magic the Gathering is actually a really good trading card game. It's been around for such a long time. It's one of the most popular, if not the most popular trading card game out there, and one of the oldest too. I don't really play it anymore that much, but it was a really balanced game. I mean, there were some powerful cards, but generally even the cheap, more common cards were usable in battles and in the actual games. And you can't really say that over here. I mean, there's just so many, like this card you guys are looking at right now in the top left. I mean, there was no conceivable reason why anybody would have this in their deck. I mean, it's just such trash. I mean, the way this game is set up though is the more expensive cards are always more powerful. I mean, in every way, this card is just garbage. It is pure trash. I mean, this one of those cards you just throw away instantly. It's just unusable. There's no purpose for it. I mean, even this, it's such a terrible card. I mean, if you look at this card I have down over here, this is nothing special. It's actually pretty bad too. But he's just got more stats than this card down over here. There's absolutely no reason to have any of these cards in this deck. It makes no sense. And it makes me angry because I know the rules and it's just such garbage cards. And let's go ahead and end our turn because we can't do anything else anyway. Though we should just put this guy down just for the hex of it. Let's put this down. Set. Put this card down too. Why not? We're going to set this down. And we are going to end our turn. Let's end our turn too. This is actually, it's almost impossible to beat any of the NPCs in the game because the cards they have in their deck are just ridiculously overpowered compared to yours. So how fun is that? The only way you can actually win, discard one card from your hand, destroy one card on the field. Yeah, that's fair. He used one card to just kill my creature, which is actually not that bad compared to other cards in the game. But just to beat any of the NPCs in the game is nearly impossible because the decks they have compared to your deck is just absurd. Their deck is just better in almost every measurable way. So he just used another card, and it lets him pull no, I don't want to do that. It basically lets him pull any of one of his discarded cards and puts it back on the battlefield. So he instantly gets some overpowered card, and I'm gonna lose. At this point, there's nothing I can do to win, and that's because again the game is brutal with the amount of starting cards you have. So really, the only way to get anywhere in Yu-Gi-Oh! Online is to pay money. And it's asking me if I want to activate my trap card, but it doesn't really do anything. I mean, it increased one of my dude's attacks by 500, but that's still not enough to do anything. Alright, let's click no here again. And this game sucks. I mean, there's nothing I can do right now. I like I said, just Yu-Gi-Oh! Online would be a pretty cool card game in general, if the cards are more accessible and, I mean, if there's room for you to upgrade without actually paying. But for most purposes, you should look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Online as a pay-to-play game. But with an unlimited free trial, because you can keep playing and you're just going to lose anyway, though. There's nothing I can do right now to win. He's just owning my cards one at a time, and now he gets to attack me. Since I have no dudes up, I take the damage. Damages. Let's click no over here. On my turn, I'll just give up anyway, because there's nothing I can do. He's got 3 dudes on the field. And there is... Maybe I'll draw something, who knows. That somehow makes me win the game. You never know. Click no here again. And let's see what I get on my turn. Trap Hole, which is another really good card, but there's nothing I can do to win this game right now. We're gonna surrender this game. Because there's nothing I can do anyway. Let's click yes. Now, out of Pox Nora and Urban Rivals I played, both of those games are infinitely superior to Yu-Gi-Oh! Online. Only because, again, there's nothing you can do to win. The NPCs all have better cards than you. And all the players you would play against all have better cards than you as well. So the only way to actually play the game is to do my sleazy strategy of keep making new accounts and keep getting trading your cards in the trading section of the game, which actually makes no sense either. Why would the NPC just give away the best cards for 50 of the worst cards? He just wants a stack of cards, I guess. I don't know, to make the pyramids with or something. But yeah, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Online in a nutshell. And you can see the auto duel feature over here. There's 1,000 duels in progress, so that means this game is actually pretty popular. I mean, that's worth mentioning. I mean, the game has a lot of players, even though the starting decks do suck. If you click auto duel, it'll match you up against somebody to play with. Anyway, guys, if you guys do want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online or just learn more about it, do check it out full review on the link below. Later, guys.